Pode começar.
Ok, bem-vindas, bem-vindos todos. A gente já está aqui com a nossa querida professora, Joanna Macy. O Zoom está cheio, está sendo transmitido para o YouTube. E antes de fazer as apresentações, falar com ela em inglês, que ela está esperando, eu só vou dar uma instrução para quem está aqui na sala do Zoom poder ouvir em português. Então, a partir daqui a pouquinho eu vou começar a falar inglês, e todos os outros convidados também, e a professora, obviamente. Então, quem quiser ouvir em português, tem um botãozinho que chama interpretação, ou interpretation. Vai estar aqui embaixo, vocês clicam, e aí vai aparecer a opção do português. Quem está no celular, é só arrastar o menu um pouquinho para a direita, e vai aparecer 3 pontinhos, e aí dá para, nesses 3 pontinhos, ver a mesma coisa, interpretação e depois português. Ok? Então, a partir de agora, a gente vai falar com a professora em inglês, então. Ok. Okay, dear teacher, thank you so much for being here with us. I was just giving some instructions for the people that are going to listen to us in Portuguese. And we have our guests here already. And I just wanted to say that this is a day worthy of celebration. We have waited this moment for a long time. We've been working on the book for a long time, so this is a day of we feel like it's a party. It's a moment of celebration. So just for you all to know, Joanna is right now at her home in Berkeley, in California, United States. And she said yes to our invitation to be here to the Coming Back to Life book launch without hesitation. So first of all, we would like to express our deep appreciation for her generosity in being here with us today. This book, Coming Back to Life, translated into Portuguese as Nossa Vida como Gaia, was written by Joanna and Molly Brown and is a guide to a methodology founded by Joanna around 50 years ago. This great body of teachings and practices is called The Work That Reconnects, and it interweaves Mahayana Buddhism, systems thinking, and deep ecology. One of the main gifts of the many gifts of the work is awakening us to the fact that this planet we live on is alive. And it is precisely this understanding that will allow us to feel Gaia's pain and act courageously on her behalf. The first edition of Coming Back to Life, that's this one I was showing Joanna before, was published in Brazil by Editora Gaia in 2004. The person who articulated this and organized the visit of Joanna and her husband Fran to Brazil that same year was Maria Amália Fontoura. And we just wanted to acknowledge that and to express our appreciation for the work she did so many years ago. 10 years later, in 2014, a new edition of the book, revised and updated, was published in the US. That's this edition here. New chapters have been added to the book, and as the work became known worldwide, and it is an open source methodology, over the years it has been incorporating changes and adaptations, and it still is actually. So it is a great, great honor for us from Bodisatva to publish this updated version of Coming Back to Life, Nossa Vida como Gaia here in Brazil. Bodisatva is originally a magazine. It was founded in 1990 by our teacher, Lama Padma Santen. And a few years ago, we started publishing Dharma books. Lama Santen is our main consultant. We ask him for guidance, and he has been very encouraging regarding this publishing of Nossa Vida como Gaia in Portuguese. And he couldn't be here with us today, our teacher. In 5 days, we have presidential elections, Joanna, perhaps the most crucial moment in Brazil modern history. And our teacher is totally dedicated to articulating voices around the protection of our democracy, getting organizations and different leaders to sign a public letter called Faith in Democracy. Anyway, he sent Joanna all his love and gratitude for her work. Bodisatva is a cooperative, collaborative, nonprofit project. The team of volunteers that runs Bodisatva and work to make the book happen is all here in this room, and I'm going to mention their names. Josiane Tibuski shared the translation and editorial project with me. Guilherme Ehud and Felipe Martins were the designers. The cover where a geographic map of Latin American rivers overlaps a living being cell was created by Igor Soff. I'm going to show the cover in a moment. Rosana Falls was responsible for the production. Cristiane Chardozin did the editing. Ellen Cesar is now taking care of everything that involves technology. Lorena Souza is the one responsible for sales and distribution. And Elise Bozeto and Janaína Araújo are the communication heads of our profile and social media in our website. For this event, we also want to thank Marcos Teles, who is translating us right now. It is important to say that this book was sponsored by nearly 30 people, very dear friends of our community who provided resources to cover the initial print costs. Most of them are here with us today. I've seen a few of them, and you can read their names at the end of our book. And today, we are here to listen to Joanna talk about the importance of the book, its relevance in today's world, or actually whatever she feels is in her heart to share. And after that, we invited 3 dear friends who have a very strong connection to Joanna's work to share with her and with us a little bit of the impact the work that reconnects and Joanna's teachings has in their own lives in enriching the conversation. And finally, before passing the word to Joanna, I'd like to remind us of the following. We live in the country with the greatest biodiversity on the planet. Beauty and intelligence beyond what we can imagine lies in every corner of this country. And today, I feel that not just us, but the spirits of the rivers, the birds, the trees, the spirits of so many more than human beings of this territory are now welcoming Joanna together with us as if they were meeting an old and dear friend again from a timeless time and a lie, appreciating the sacred work she's doing and celebrating her love for this beautiful planet of ours. So, dear teacher, thank you so much for being here with us. And I pass the word to you. Thank you.
My heart is big, feeling so full, like our planet. Here I sit on the edge of the continent, North America, right by not many steps down to the Pacific Ocean. And I'm trying to, if I look this way, across half the body of my country and off through the Caribbean and down to where you are. It is as if we with our voices, our thoughts, our presence, our attention, our holding our planet. What an amazing time to be alive. This moment when both spirituality and science and the discovery that our planet is a living system is calling us to wake up even more at all that we have to celebrate, even amidst such a dark time. And we don't have to look away from the pain and the discomfort. We don't have to pretend that we don't see the preparations for war, the difficulties, the poverties that people face, all the organization for pursuing our separate interests, our polarizing, all the reasons that can cause us to give up, because we have a countless ways for us to realize who we are, that we are no different, we are not separate. We can harvest the life, the vigor, the beauty of our planet. And we can discover again and again our own strengths, our own capacity to love and to plan. And I can say that because I am so thrilled that this book is coming back to life, down with you. And those of us gathered here, including my friend who was a student of mine, Adrian, his energy and his vision to take this work that he had learned with me, and that every time you learn this work, it releases so much inside you that is distinctive, original. Everybody has his own gifts and her own gifts and flavors. And so in his way, Adrian Villaseñor Garazza took this book and came first and down into from his native Mexico, down to Chile. And there were two women who loved the planet and who came from Brazil to that training of the work that reconnects that he brought to Chile. And then the story goes, they went back to their native Brazil and shared the work. And then the story goes that Mr. Villaseñor, came to and worked with you. How many of you were there? I bet quite a few in Brazil. And what Leah just shared was how the group grew, and how soon books, this isn't the first book, but I look at it with, I have to say something about this particular book. When I was writing it with my co-author, Molly Brown, and we work together still and frequently, and she has been training many people who train others, and others train others, and share this work. So it is spreading out across this country, across this continent, across Canada. Is very strong up in Alaska, and then across the oceans too. But when we wrote this together, we were having such a good time. And there are things that are special in it that you may already have discovered for yourself. Yeah. That we brought some of our favorite resources, what strengthens us from the science, from the art, from the history, from our adventures in this time. And that we have brought, like offering you with our hands full of the stories and discoveries and workshops. And so that even though we don't speak the same language, our hearts are meeting here. I just open it to one poem after another. I take to myself my broken self, my guilt, my peace, my folly and joy, and I am made whole. This book helps us admit our limits. This poem helps us not be discouraged by our grief, our sorrows, our mistakes. This book helps us make friends with all parts of ourselves, and helps us see each other with surprise and a sense of discovery. What we discover in each other, of what we share, of the courage that is hiding in each of us, of our love for life. So that there was a poem that I wanted to read to you that's made by one of my favorite poets, Rainer Maria Rilke, that catches something of the sense of how hard our time is, how much hunger, how much fear of climate change, so the hard things that are facing us, the storm that is facing us and coming upon us, we're facing it, and we're not hiding from that. Those first words of this poem: you are not surprised at the force of the storm. You have seen it growing. The trees flee, and their flight sets the boulevards streaming. And then you remember that how things seem certain now. Everything seems uprooted. There's nothing you can depend on. Everything seems to be failing us, reminding us of the impermanence of all things. And then we remember, as in the second stanza of this poem, that we thought in the past, we felt things were certain. We thought we could depend on life, depend on the natural world, depend on trees and lakes and rivers depend. And now they're driving what they're turning in, what's afflicting our sense. So it says, the weak stood still in summer. The tree's blood rose in youth. Now you feel it wants to sink back into the source of everything. And now it's like, what is there left for us? What can we count on? Can we be sure that there is a harvest coming? And comes the final part of the poem that is so beautiful to me. Through the empty branches, the sky remains. That is what you have. So be earth now. Oh, just say that to yourself. I want to hear you say it in Portuguese. To be earth now. That's a call for us. We will never be separated from the living earth. Be earth now, and even song. Be the ground lying under that sky. Be modest now, like a thing ripened until it is real. So that he or she, the great creator who began it all, can feel you when reaching for you. Yeah, that's it. We come to a moment of so much change that all that is left for us is belonging. We belong. It's changing. It's not as reassuring as before, but it's what we have, and we belong to that. And we can, this work can help us experience among the many, teach us how to experience that we belong to this earth. We belong to it so intimately that we can work like hand in glove in service to life. And we can let our world, we can let our planet work through us, be a strength in us. I hope you will come to feel comfortable with this book. I think you already are, from what I hear. And I am so glad that it is coming again fresh into your hands. And please use it. Turn to it. Trying all the different exercises. There's so many things. We had so much fun putting them together, remembering and laughing as we read it, to think, oh, they will love this. Oh, but we, as if we could think of you when we were tucking them into this book. So it comes into your hands with my love and with thanks for all who have made it possible, for those who translated, those who raised the money for the printing, all of you who will turn to it. I give my thanks, and my wish is that you have a wonderful time in that beautiful land of yours. And what a moment it is in this, when you're electing a new president. Boy, that keeps you awake at night. Yeah. And me in solidarity with you. Thank you so much for receiving this book and receiving my strong wishes for you. So, Leah,
Yeah. Thank you so much, Joanna, for sharing.
Words with my love and wishes. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And I think now we can, as you said to Adrian before, that you'd like to listen a little bit about how these teachings and how these exercises, this practice of the work that reconnects and your teachings, how they impact on different people's life, right? So we called Bruna Bush to be here with us. Bruna is my partner in the learning community, the work that reconnects learning community. She's a biologist and a yoga teacher, a facilitator of the work. And we invited her in to share a little bit of how she feels in her heart. And she's a great and dear friend also, and a partner in the publication. She made the final readings of the book. So please, Bruna.
Thank you, Leah. Hello, dear Joanna. It's such a joy to be with you, to be able to listen to you. Your big heart, my heart is beating very fast now. I think it's a little nervous, but it's all this love you shared with us. So I'm very, very happy to be with you, to have this opportunity to listen these compassionate words from you and to talk with you about my experiences with the work that reconnects. So thank you so much for being with us today. And I think I will just share some thoughts and some experiences about the work that reconnects. And so I just want to share with you two things. One of them is what Leah said about our online learning community. So since I did the 10-day immersion with Adrienne here in Brazil in 2019, me and Leah, we are facilitating studies and practices about the work that reconnects in our community. And this is helping me a lot to go deeper in all this beautiful methodology, go deeper in about the Buddhism concepts in your theory, about the deep ecology and system theory. So it's been a really wonderful adventure. Since 2019, I was embraced by the work that reconnects in Brazil. So we have read your books, we have translated some of them. We are studying it in a community. We are about 30 people now, but during these 3 years, we have been studying some kind of, let me see, I think about 100 people have studied with us during these 3 years, sorry. And it's been such a great joy and a great, how can I say, we are always discovering something new about the work that reconnects. As you said, it evolves when it encounters a new people, a new country, a new context. So we think it's a methodology that is alive, and we can evolve it here in different ways. So it's always such a gift to discover new things, doing the spiral, connecting with different people. So as I were talking about the community, we have people from several regions of Brazil. So from Northeast, from North Amazonia, from the Southeast, from the South, and people from different professions, different ages. So it's a very rich community. And it's been a really, really, really joy to study together this your works. And so I'm very inspired. We are always very inspired by you, by your videos, and by all your books. And so I'm here to say thanks on behalf of our community. And I just like to share a little about my experience with the 10-day immersion I did with Adrienne. So it was really a change in my life. I think I will never be the same. I'm not the same person since I got the immersion. And I am a biologist. I have studied in biology and microbiology specifically, and the interdependence of life. But I never felt that I had a tool in my hands to practice this view, to share with the people what it means to be all connected. So I think that the work that Reconnects gave me this tool, this very precious tool. And so I was able to join my ability, my skills as a biologist and my studies on Buddhism, since I am a practitioner since 2015 too. And this gave me a precious tool to share with people about our connected lives, that we are all together on this beautiful planet, and that we can love it until the end. And doesn't matter what is happening now, but we are always able to feel this pain, to see what is happening, and to look at each other and look for ways of dealing with it, or maybe overcoming what is happening now. We don't know, we will never know if you are going to able to end the destruction here, or if the things will change in the future, if we are to survive to the climate change. But it's such a joy to see if we are together speaking about it and looking at it with our heart open, we can overcome things, we can help each other. So I think it was such a precious gift when I encountered the work that reconnects. When we finished the 10-day immersion, I have this feeling that I have got a precious gift, and I need to share this. I didn't know what I will do, but when I finished the immersion, I felt that I need to share. And I was, as I said, embraced by this community. And when I blinked, I was talking and sharing the work that reconnects with everyone in my country and in my city and online also. So I think it's wonderful. I felt very lucky to meet you, Joanna, and to encounter your books. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for this work, for being with us today, and for always inspire us so much. And yeah, and my heart is full of love for you, for our community, and for our planet. And I hope I can continue sharing with you and with all people I know in my country, in my place, in my city. And yeah, and I think that's it. Just to say thank you so much, Joanna. It's a nice gift to be with you today. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful to hear your voices.
Thank you, Bruna. Thank you so much.
I'm
Yes, please, Joanna.
listening to you. I realized I would love to tell you 3 of the practices here that I love so much, and they appear in different guises. So I could just say, for all of you who are listening, and you might say, "Oh, I think so too," but one is I love the way it emerged through time, and I don't know whether it's more emerging now than when this book started, but the sense of the spiral of the work that reconnects, how it leads to, we begin with gratitude, and then that grounds us. It grounds us, and helps us feel that, because we're going to be sharing our pain for the world as well, but it's good to steady first and open ourselves to our gladness to be here, that we're glad to be here. And if we're going to bring changes to our world, then it's really important that we're glad to be here. And then, so then you're grounded in being able to share the pain for the world that you have, that for each of us. There's grief and there's fear. There's uncertainty. And to be able to not hide that, and then in sharing that with others, to realize that this is, all of them are a form of deep connection. It's through our sorrow and grief that we connect, as well as through our laughter and discoveries and invention. And another thing, and I wonder, is our open sentences. We use these a lot, and I just have found them so easy to use with people in almost any situation, where you start a sentence and then the other repeats it and completes it. Yeah. What I fear in our world situation is, and then leave it, someone else speaks it and completes it. It gives people a way of quickly getting to what's at the core of their heaviness of heart, or being able to share things of great importance. And the third thing is the work in deep time. And I'm glad to see in here that there is a whole section of the book on deep time, where we experience our profound connection with the ancestors, and especially, somehow for me, it was especially the future ones, the future beings, those who have yet to be born. And it's for their sakes that we are engaging in work for our world, and that we begin to feel more and more of our love for them, and our love for them, and our readiness to do so much for there to be a beautiful clean air and fresh water, and for the future ones too. Yeah. Okay. I'm I know you have more people to speak, so go ahead.
Yeah, but thank you, Joanna, for that, and made me remember that actually it's good for people that don't know yet the book that to understand that there are concepts and as a body of practices described like very precisely, and it's very easy to have each practice has the time length and how to apply it, and it's a open source methodology, so people can feel free to try to experiment, and some practices are very safe for us to try with our family members or our friends. And this open sentences, for instance, is also my favorite. I
Oh,
love
you
it.
too.
Yeah. It works in every situation, I guess. And I feel very comfortable because you always have, and all over the book it has this suggestion that you create your own sentences or you adapt for your context. So I feel very free with this method, and I think that's the reason why it's alive for such a long time, right? Because it's not never like stuck in a description, but always improving and changing. So thank you for that. That was important for us to know. So I'm going to call Lama Emerson Karma Konchok. We are very happy that he could be here with us because, as I was saying before, he's a very important and a reference voice for us here when connecting Buddhism and social and environmental activism. We have heard him in our community, and probably many people here in the room know him. And Lama Emerson also is the translator of the Shantideva's classic teaching, The Way of the Bodhisattva, straight from Tibetan language into Portuguese. So it's an amazing work that he has done, and I'm sure that he has a very special view of your own approach, Joanna, and your teaching. So we invited him in to share a little bit. Please, Lama. Thank you for being here.
So, hello, dear teacher Joanna. I consider myself a disciple of yours. I read many of your books. So you are a very important influence in my life. So for me, this is a very meaningful time now to be able to address you. It's an honor. Thank you very much, and congratulations everybody for this amazing work. I like this book very much. So I will just share briefly how your work touched the things that I do, my life. Something like 2 years ago, I was in the US. I was finishing my 3-year retreat, and I was very shocked because I was, even before the retreat, I was not seeing news like maybe for 2 years. So, but I think in total was 6 years disconnected from news of the world like this. And 2 years ago, I started seeing the news. I was very shocked by the state of the world, the politics and the environment, everything. And that I was trying to connect with some movements, some environmental movements, and I got connected with Extinction Rebellion in New York, in the US, and it was through them that I was acquainted with your work, because when they do their trainings, they always expose your work and say Joanna Macy is one of the 3 pillars that we work here, and these, and I learned a lot there. So because this specific movement, Extinction Rebellion, they emphasizes also the inner aspects of transformation and the need for regenerative cultures and this kind of thing. So it was, I found quite at home with your work and Extinction Rebellion, and it was very meaningful to me because it put together something that I always believed, that a spiritual practice should not be disconnected from engaging in the world and doing things in the world. And if you think that spiritual practice is about alienating yourself of things that are happening around you, I think this is a kind of strange way to do spiritual practice. So your work was very important for me in this sense, and I'm not actually directly involved with the work of Leah and Bruna, but we did things together. Like, for example, I used to write articles in a more secular context about environment, about secular ways of to training compassion and this kind of things. And everybody that reads me, they feel that you are always there. So yeah, you are very strong influence, and I help also in a movement to teach meditation and compassion for activists. And once we did something together with Poliana, that she's not here, but she helps to do the girls there with in the work. And it was very moving. Everybody loved the open sentence exercises and other exercises. It was very meaningful. So thank you very much, dear teacher, for your existence in this world. Everything that you shared with us, with the world, is extremely beneficial. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lama. Thank you. And finally, I want to call in Adrian Villaseñor Galassa. Joanna already mentioned Adrian, and Bruna also talked about him, and I'm very grateful as well, because he was the one who introduced me to the practices and to the work that reconnects in Chile. Adrian is a PhD in ecology, psychology, and consciousness at the California Institute of Integral Studies. And as we said, he led a 10-day training of the work that reconnects in São Paulo in 1990. That's the one that Bruna mentioned. And he's supporting different activities for the flourishing of the methodology in Latin America. And he is also the translator to the same book, Coming Back to Life, into Spanish. And actually, we have used some of his decisions as a translator in Portuguese, because we have similar languages. And he's, as I said, a dear friend, a dear partner. And we are very happy that he could be here with us in we had a few days to prepare for this. So thank you so much, Adrian, for being here, and please.
Oi, Lia, Bruna, everybody. Hola, Joanna. It's great being here, and just want to share a few words, mainly my gratitude for the effort and the inspiration that it's emerging, from Brazil and the community there. It's inspiring for me personally, and it was very inspiring, my visit there. And so let me start by saying this. I think I had a conversation with Leah and other folks while I was there, and I mentioned this to Joanna a couple of hours ago, that someone mentioned here Brazil is kind of like, it's a very fertile soil. It's like the Amazon, of course. You bring a seed and it just like blooms and flourishes and just finds its ways to embrace life. So I found that when I was there, and it was very inspiring. I learned a lot, and I found that the work that reconnects, it's finding its way in all this amazing, previously unconceivable ways that it's nourishing the hearts and minds of people there. So yeah, thank you for that. And I want to share a couple of stories, maybe one. Back in the day, maybe 2011, I was in a 5-day intensive with Joanna up north, not so far away from here. I think that particular one was for the first BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, and People of Color cohort And so the last activity where we do like the blessings, circle of blessings, it was my turn to pass. And I remember Joanna echoing back to me that that I should be somehow, these were not her exact words, but a prophet for my people. And so that kind of like stood with me. And I took that to heart in terms of the work that reconnects. I was like, yeah, I think I should do that. I think I should bring this down south, you know? And so that's what I've been doing. And it's been giving me so much that I feel that I couldn't repay enough of what I received, of what I learned. And so lately I've been kind of approaching the gifts of the work to reconnects by a title of many. One of them is like the Dharma of the earth. I feel that the work
Say that again.
the Dharma of the earth.
Oh,
The Dharma of the earth. So I
That's
feel that
right.
the work that reconnects truly brings us closer to the teachings of the living earth herself. And that we can find that within, you know, but also we find it especially within the power of community, that the work that reconnects really ignites and really invites us to like embrace this more relational way of being in the world, you know, because a lot of our troubles, I know that for me, come when I feel alone, when I feel isolated, when I become little. But it's hard to feel that way when we feel we are Earth. We feel we are like the whole planet in human form. And that's like the invitation of the work and what Joanna has been kind of like tirelessly inviting us, you know. So this Dharma of both the Earth and Joanna, I've kind of began to understand it like Earth as home, like this sense of belonging that was Joanna inviting us to cultivate, you know, Earth as home, Earth as teacher, of course, always imparting, you know, right livelihood, right way of speaking, just the way to go about things. But also Earth as self, as our wider self of our true identity of who we are. And also Earth as healer. So it is she, you know, that provides sort of like the pathway to go beyond our sort of confusion of who we think we are, that is at the root of the many climate and ecological and social crises of our time. So Earth as healer, self, teacher, and home. For me, kind of like I've been starting to percolate in my mind and heart as to how to make sense of what Joanna is inviting us to do in my very limited perspective. So I just wanted finally to name my appreciation for you, Joanna, and for your courageous heart and abundant sort of like fierce spirit of loving life amidst calamity and just tribulation, and just being these, for me personally, and I know that for a lot of people too, this beacon of light that like we fall, is like, hey, you know, stand up, you can do it again, you can try again. Life is enough, and life is worthy, and I'm worthy, and we all are, you know, and it's worth fighting for life, and is worth to tune into teachings like this one, you know. And so I feel grateful for meeting you in this lifetime, Joanna, maybe once again, and thanks for your inspiration. And I truly want to congratulate again everyone down there in Brazil for their discipline and effort to bring the book to life. Yeah. Obrigado. Gracias. Thank you.
Obrigada, Adrian. Muchas gracias. So, dear teacher, we are nearing the end of our time together. We want to respect your time, and we'd like to ask closing words from you. But there is one last thing that I thought about asking you. Nossa Vida como Gaia, Coming Back to Life, is about to spread across Brazil. So we'd like to know, when people start reading it, what would bring you more joy? What is your heart desire for Brazilian readers? What would you bring you joy? That's my question to you. And then if you want to share your closing words, then we start to close the event.
Wow, what a wonderful question. It brings me joy when people have curiosity that's there. Oh, what is this? They start with a question. What is this work? That would bring me joy, to think of people being curious, wanting to discover, and not, being ready to find out. Oh, and being curious and ready to learn from how you feel. If you feel afraid, if you feel sad, if you feel disappointed or angry, always turn and say, oh, what is that like? Oh, and if be a readiness with an open mind, because there is so much here in this world, and there is so much for us to discover, and to discover what another person is like, to discover what it's like to take their hand, to ask them a question, to listen to the answer. Our world is dying to be discovered. Our planet, with the voices of 1,000 ancestors and 1,000,000 trees, and so full of life. It wants people to hear. So, yes, I wish for you readiness to discover the mysteries of this world and of your own self. And trying out these, because these exercises are so geared, these practices are for, they're guaranteed to help you discover things. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. That perhaps you're hearing. Oh, I didn't turn off my clock. That's that's the 4 o'clock bird.
That's a cuckoo.
Yeah. Well, that was the cuckoo is a very good punctuation for me. Oh, thank you all for your words, and I look at your faces along the top, Adrian, and my new friend, the monk, who I'll learn your name. I'll learn your name. Yeah, and Bruno and the others, and all of you that I see. Oh, yeah. Turn on to life. Yeah, make big open in your life for life to walk in, this book is a good companion for that. And thank you, Leah, and thank you all.
Thank you so much, dear teacher. That was a very, very beautiful wish for us. Curiosity, readiness to discover a word. I'm not going to forget it. We want just to thank everyone who was here, Bruna, Lama, Emerson, Adrian, especially, but everyone who is here in the room and watching us on YouTube. The recordings of this event, both in Portuguese and in English, are going to be available in our YouTube channel, Bodisatva YouTube channel. And everyone can pre-order the book at our shop, online shop, loja.bodisatva.com.br. And we want to dedicate the merit, effort involved on this for the benefit of all beings. May this book our hearts in curiosity, as Joanna, and get closer to our true nature. Also dedicate the merit to our dear teacher, stay with us for a long, long time. Sending all the love to you from Brazil. Open up, maybe my internet connection is not good. To say goodbye to Joanna. Open our mics. Thank you so much, dear teacher.
Thank you, Joanna.
Thank
Well,
you, beloved teacher.
We love you.
Goodbye.
Love you.
Thank you, Adrian.
Bye.
Thank you, Lama Emerson.
Hey.
Thank you, thank you. Bye, dear teacher. Bye. Okay. Minta